Welcome to the Pinball Parent Podcast. I'm Jake Turnbull. Today we're diving into a topic close to many families' hearts: why play and sport are such important parts of a child's development. I'm delighted to be joined by three fantastic guests. Kate Brown, Head of Junior School. Please introduce, say hi, Kate.
Hello everyone.
Matt Tyson, Head of the Junior School Sport.
Hello, team.
And Kate Giles, Head of Student Wellbeing in the Junior School.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're actually going to call this podcast, the title is going to be Conversations About Sport and Risky Play, which I really like, and I can't wait to dive deeper into it. And just recently, you may have missed our panel. We had a community panel that was an event on this very topic. So don't worry if you miss it. We're going to try to talk about what that panel talked about and definitely hit some of the highlights of that. So we'll start off with Kate. Kate, from your perspective, why is play so essential in the junior school beyond just being fun? Although you get the vibe when you're down here that everything is fun in the junior school. I love coming down to junior school. You'll see wheels rolling down hills. You'll see girls being dragged on Hessian bags. It's always fun.
Slides.
Yeah, and the bikes. I haven't even mentioned the bike shenanigans.
Yeah. I love the shenanigans.
Yeah.
But no, it's really important. So and I'm jumping in as this Kate. So this is Kate Brown.
I like being able to just say Kate, so I don't have to.
Any questions I don't like to Kate Giles and hand them over to her. But no, play is such a fundamental part of being a human being. So it's not just important for children. It's really important for all of us to remember to lean into that playful side of who we are. So, play, we are hardwired for play. And if we can empower our children to engage in risky play, then we teach them so many things, or enable them to teach themselves so many things about who they are and who they want to be. So play helps us become more confident, just physically become more confident, but also to take risks and therefore build resilience, to socially network. All manner of things can happen through play. So it's one of the greatest learning tools that we have, and children don't realize how much learning they are doing because, as you say, Jake, they're just having fun.
The wonderful thing when you talked about the whole time about play, and the other people in the room can attest to this, you smile when you talk about play constantly.
Yeah.
And I know I've had many great conversations with you about play as well. Let's go to the other Kate. How do you see play supporting learning and personal development? And you can think about this in two parts, in the classroom as well as in the playground.
I think in the classroom, as Kate said, I think it's really important because it does develop those skills. It develops the skills of collaboration and cooperation, and the girls learn to negotiate together. And that is really important in life and as a social skill, but it's also really important in the classroom to learn those collaborative skills. It also enhances curiosity and critical thinking. Girls are learning to take calculated risks and understanding their limitations. They're asking questions about how this could work. What they're using loose parts, they're using pulleys, and they're using ropes to learn how to create and build things. In terms of well-being and development, it's building their resilience, their ability to be more confident in themselves. It is fun, and it does help reduce stress and improve mood and make them happy. You see the girls, as you said, the fun and the joy that the girls have when they're out playing is really special.
And can I just jump in because I get so excited on this topic?
Still smiling, by the way, still smiling.
As Kate was just talking about, it improves mood. There is research which shows that children engaging in risky play actually reduces levels of anxiety. And in our increasingly busy world where we see children, there are so many things in the world that children can be anxious about. It's really important that we give them a safe space, but that they feel that it is quite a wild space where they can take those risks and develop choices that they make for themselves. we do not want any of our children to be taking their first risks when they are in a teenage social situation, where there may be alcohol or cars. We want them to learn to take risks at a very young age so that they develop those critical skills in what is safe for me to do. And each of us are different. So what feels safe for me might feel very different for somebody else. And it's important that our young girls develop that really strong sense of who they are and their voice, so that they enter situations that they are comfortable to do, or in a learning space that they are slightly comfortably uncomfortable, is what I always want the girls to be, so that they are having to think and they are rising to challenges, but that it is still safe. Comfortably uncomfortable is what
I like that. Comfortable. I'm going to use that. Comfortably uncomfortable. And I'm going to go to someone who's very comfortable on a stage, singing in front of people. That's what I've heard. Or maybe actually more comfortable in the beach, surfing and being you see you on the field with a big smile, loving seeing the girls in action. I'm going to ask you a question I wasn't going to, but I see it's there, and I think it's a good one for someone that's probably not always down in the junior school. Do you see different kinds of play across the year groups, like say from kindy to year 6?
Yeah, I'd even go further as to say I see it in staff as well, in regards to just play being important in life. I was fortunate enough to go see a speaker at a workshop. His name's Ben Crow. He's a life mindset coach. Deals with a lot of athletes, Australian athletes like Ash Barty, a few of the surfers.
He's on the podcast.
He's on the Imperfect.
Yeah,
really good podcast for those listening at home. Jump on that. But he talks about play quite a bit in everyday life, going on what you were saying, Kate, and how it shouldn't just be our kids that should be engaging in play, but adults as well. And he's got this great quote that I live by now, is that there is no academic research anywhere to suggest that life should be serious. It should be playful.
Love it.
Look at the quotes. We're going to need to go get tattoos, I think, after this.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I see it everywhere. I see it on the sport field. You see it in the playground. You see it amongst teams, teachers and what have you, when they're having lunch, the laugh, the banter. It's just such a big point of, I guess, thriving is my look on it.
Now, we'll continue with you, Matt, for this next question. Why do you, being head of junior school sport, am I getting your title right? It changes occasionally. Why is sport such a key part of a student's week here at Pymble?
I think it comes down to being connected. I think when you're engaged, yes, we come to school and we learn, and that is the ultimate goal of coming to school, is to learn. But then when you engage in, whether it be a sport or a co-curricular for that matter, when you're involved with something outside of your 9 to 3 learning, you're engaged more in the school community. You feel more of a sense of connectedness to the school itself. And there's been a myriad of studies to suggest that the more connected somebody feels to where they're learning, the better outcomes, the better academic outcomes for that student as well.
Nice one. This is out to anyone. What do we find as some of the hidden benefits of participating in sport that parents might not straight away see, that they might,
this is, I said it at the panel, how long do we have in this? Because
Matt can talk all day.
about this, because, I mean,
yes, all day.
Sport is fun. Sport is all about improving health. Sport is about becoming stronger and faster and throwing further and jumping and jumping further and all those things. But I just think, I like to see sport, and I said this at the panel, as a little snapshot of life. Because when we grow up, there's always objectives or goals that we're trying to achieve, whether that's individually or whether that's with a team. And that's what sport is. When you're involved in sport, you've got 45 minutes or an hour to score a goal, score a try, shoot a hoop, swim as fast as you can, run as fast as you can. That's your objective. And in that, you're there to work with people who may not be your best friends, but you've recognized that they're on the same journey as you to achieve that objective. You need to reflect on what you're going to bring to achieving that objective, and how I'm going to use my team to also help achieve that objective. And then we might not achieve that objective at all. Yeah. And it's that resilience, that bounce back, that how do I overcome that loss or get back up and try again. And the beauty about sport, I feel, is it doesn't seem like a structured environment for a little 10-year-old. It seems like they're open in the wild and they're trying to score this try or what have you. but it actually is quite a safe, structured environment. We do have people looking out for the girls. We do have referees managing the game. We do have teams and coaches and all that type of stuff.
And it is amazing the how quickly you become like being able to chat with each other and become one as a team. Yeah. And I think it's amazing the different backgrounds, the different personalities that come, and you kind of have to. It's a little bit of working out how you're going to get along with these people.
Yeah.
It even happens as adults. Like I've just started playing baseball again after 20 odd years, and it's amazing. Like, you know, you've got a lawyer, you've got a doctor, you've got teachers, you've got everyone coming together, and you kind of just have to get along because your whole goal is to have fun, but also to win.
To win. Yeah. It's not about winning, but it's
I know it is about winning. I was going to say it is about winning.
Exactly. It's just more fun when you're winning.
Yeah.
But it's just. But I think it's such a powerful. And I like that research that you shared before about how many female CEOs or leaders have played competitive sport, not necessarily at an elite level, you know. And I look around at my friends and I look at my journey. I have always been involved in team sports throughout school, university, and beyond. And, you know, it's only sort of now at this age where I'm thinking, I don't know how much longer I can keep going, my poor body. But it's just, I know it builds skills in people, in networking, in knowing yourself, in being able to connect with people really quickly about what really matters. And also the time management skills that it develops in you if you are somebody who is committed to a team, but you have other things as well that take your time. All of those skills are such powerful skills for a person to develop if they want to end up in senior leadership.
100%. That time management's a key.
It is, because my time management is not always, well, actually, no, I don't. I'm not too late. But anyway.
I reflect on when I'm on holidays. When I'm on holidays and I've got a list an arm long, I don't get any of it done because I've got all the time in the world. When I've got no time in the world and I'm at my busiest, somehow I seem to put this in there and this in there and get loads done.
It's laser focus,
definitely.
attention to things.
I think that, oh, sorry, go, Kate.
I think the perseverance of having you don't get good at something instantly, and I think sport is a fabulous thing that teaches the girls. And as adults, I've taken up Pilates, and when I started doing that, I was horrific at it. But you need to persevere, and having the girls, they've got the goal, but having the girls have to understand that they need to keep practicing, they keep trying, they may fail. Is really important, as well as obviously the social connections and the girls making friends in different things. I think that's really key. Having friends in your music class, having friends in your sport team, having friends in your classroom is really important for the girls.
You probably see that as a parent with your boys. Like they've got different circles of friends because of sport, as well as other activities they're enrolled in.
And you can translate that into the risky play, because we see girls who obviously have their social groups and they come out to unstructured play, which is often what it's called here, and they then mix with other groups because they want to play with something different to their actual friends. And as you were saying, Kate, the perseverance, like if you want to create a tire swing for yourselves around a tree in Valley Playground, that takes time and effort and engineering thinking as to how you're going to actually construct that, and that doesn't happen in 10 minutes. So the girls have to lean into those skills that they may have learnt in sport, but actually put them in practice and work with others who have different skills that they can bring to achieve what they want. It's amazing.
Yeah, love sport. I think watching, playing, it's the characters that come out too. Can you, and this is for anyone, can you share a moment from this year that really show how risky play builds that character, resilience, teamwork, those kind of things?
I can think of one. And so one of the things that risky play can do is its speed. So one element of risky play, so there are 6 different types of risky play, and one is speed and momentum. And so that's why we have the scooters and the bikes. So I can think of a particular student that we have who couldn't ride a bike, and she has, obviously with teacher assistance and her own determination at lunchtimes, gone from being an absolute non-bike rider to learning to ride a bike. She doesn't have a bike at home, so she can't practice at home. So it's only happening here at school. But the pride that she had when she could cycle up and down the junior school pathway by herself, and watching her friends support her on that journey, is something that will stick with me for life, because we now have a young girl who feels that sense of achievement for herself. And when we then celebrated her in the junior school community, she walked even taller than she had when she got off the bike and knew that she'd done something great for herself.
What a thing to be able to give a child as well at a school. I guess we haven't really talked about what risky play is, and if there are any parents that aren't sure, does anyone want to take that question? What is risky play?
As Kate said, there are 6 elements of risky play. So speed and momentum, so the bikes and scooters. And in our unstructured play sessions, often it's going down a cardboard slide or cardboard slide surfing. Height and elevation, so potential risk of falling, climbing trees. Use of dangerous tools, so that using tools that are adult tools, often in our STEM creativity and building things. Playing with natural elements and loose parts, so open-ended. Chance of getting lost, so being out in the elements in our valley playground, and rough and tumble play.
I love the sound of that, chance of getting lost.
Have you been out there when it's happening?
Yeah.
It's nuts. And I like, you have that, you have all the risk, and you have all the wheels going down the hills, and the girls on the bikes and the scooters, but then you also have little restaurants being set up. Is that still what's happening?
Absolutely.
And you'll get invited to have tea and scones and whatever else.
A beauty treatment.
A beauty treatment.
Through nature.
When's that happening? Matt's pretty keen. His eyes lit up then.
Yeah.
I'll go to the beach.
His eyes lit up. He's got some issues with skin. Sorry.
But really, only at Wimble could you have girls hurtling themselves down the hills, being grass surfers or skiers. Next to, at the bottom, you've got a day spa, and then you've got somebody building a fort or something else, and then you've got someone else constructing some tree swing. Like it's a phenomenal thing to see the way the girls just do their thing and know that that's okay. And we are not worried about getting dirty. We're not worried about how we look or anything like that. We are just in the moment. And for children to have that freedom of being themselves and in the moment can be life-changing.
Definitely. And I keep coming back to that chance of getting lost. It's resonating with me. Like, what an amazing life skill to have, so that when the girls are in their early 20s or whatever, and they're traveling around the world and they're in some remote city with a backpack on, thinking, I have no idea where I am, but that's okay.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, this leads on to, I think, a great question about how we can connect school and home. So parents listening, this is turn the volume up a little bit. Not saying that you have hearing issues, but just so you can hear it nice and loud and clear. I don't think I need to clarify that.
That's the kindness in it.
Yeah.
Always kind.
What can parents do at home to support risky play and sport and physical activity?
I think they just need to play themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping.
That's the answer. I mean, parents, you already know this, but you are a rock star to your child, and if they see you doing something, they're going to think, oh, how cool, mum and dad's doing this.
Yeah.
Let's do it ourselves. So
Absolutely. One of my favourite things, if I'm here in the evening and then I watch our amazing Ush parents pick up their daughters, and they will nearly always do the hopscotch with their daughters as they're going. If there's a puddle, why walk round it when you can walk through it? And I love watching our Ush parents do this with the girls, and you hear the girls' laughter when they watch mum or dad or grandparents being like a big child. It's such a powerful message that you are never too old to have fun, and you are never too old to take risks and to just be in whatever moment you're in. Love it.
Yeah, go to the park, climb a tree with your child.
Yeah. And don't tell them to stop, and don't worry. Please don't make, and particularly girls, please don't make girls worry about getting dirty or muddy, because, we are trying to move girls away from wanting to be perfect. Strong is the new pretty. So I really want them to lean into that space of I can be who I want to be, and my looks and my appearance they do not define me. I am a strong, fierce woman, and I'm going to change the world by being myself.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Love it.
That's-
Love it. I did pick up something too that I think you spoke about, Kate, on when we had our panel about the phrase "be careful." I do it a lot. It's hard as a parent
Yeah.
not to do it a lot when you see your young one scaling a tree or what have you. But trying to get your language right about when you see your daughter engaged in risky play, trying to get that language right about, instead of saying "be careful," I think you said use words like, how did you get up there? Would you be okay getting back down? As opposed to "be careful." Or maybe you want to elaborate. I don't.
No, I agree. I think talk if you are worried about it, and our natural instinct as a parent is wanting to protect them. But there is considerable research. Judith Locke has done considerable research around how this is actually us wanting to save our children and rescue them from any possible danger, hinders them and causes potential anxiety long term. But I think it's really important to change the language. So talk about, do you problem solve together? Do you know how to get back down? You have gone up really high. That's great. Where are you going to put your feet? What are you going to do? And remain calm and encourage them as well.
Like, I think just remember that we've as parents, we've done the right thing and let our children take risks from when they were little. Like, all our children at school are walking, and that's because we as parents encourage them to stop crawling and to stand up. And they wobbled and they bumped into, or hopefully that wasn't just my children, bumped into the corners of tables and doors, fell down, had a cry. In those moments, we didn't tell them to be careful. We dusted them off and encouraged them to go again. And so that's why they are now running and skipping and jumping and walking the way that they are, because we as parents let them take those risks. So it's just the next step. Let them take risks and be there as cheer squad along the side, but cheering them on, not holding them back.
It's funny the walking and the talking as parents, how we want them to hit those milestones at certain times, and it's like a year in if they're not speaking or they're walking. Michael McIntyre does a hilarious bit where he's like, we're always worried about that, but we actually don't see many 22, 25-year-olds crawling up to a group of adults because they still can't walk or not being able to say anything. Anyway, a bit of a segue. I don't want to feel like we're kind of hammering this home too much, but it is really important because I know it's something that parents and teachers like to link. So we'll go through this question one more time just in case we haven't hit it hard enough. What do we find the links between academic learning outcomes and sport risky player? I think we've gone there, but just so we're sure.
I mean, I know there's research from New Zealand which shows a direct correlation between bikes and scooters, but particularly bicycles, and maths ability. So if you can get your child to engage with risky play with the speed and momentum, so cycling and things like that, then that increases their spatial awareness. Like, I'm sure it relates to sport particularly as well, but there just isn't. This particular research was about speedy, risky play. It develops a stronger ability in maths. So always a good thing.
Yeah, and from a sport perspective, there's actually just been a study that came out of University of Sydney, which looked at 1,000 other, it was a multitudinal study that looked at 1,000 other studies on this exact topic. And there are so many reasons and benefits between sport and academic. From an emotional point of view, we spoke about before, in regards to that social point of view, being connected more to a school and feeling more comfortable in a school. You've got, from a resilient point of view, being able to overcome challenges. If they get something wrong, they've got the skills to be able to keep going and being persistent and trying to get that problem-solving point of view. They even talk about the from a physiological point of view as well. Being outside, running around, dopamine levels are high. If dopamine levels are high, we're feeling good about ourselves. We're ready to learn and tackle a new problem or whatever it might be. So there's a lot of different skills. I think they've actually come down to say that there is a direct correlation now between being involved in a sport at a school age level and what do they call it? ATAR entries.
You're going to
and university entrance rates.
TR, you would think. Is that what we call it?
And NAPLAN results. They're actually even saying NAPLAN results now too.
Good link. Good link. Well, before we wrap up, I've got a two-part question, so to have a think about it. What's one thing we each hope that parents take away from this conversation? And probably the more important question is, what would you say to a student who's unsure about getting involved in the risky play in the sport? So it is a two-parter.
And I'll always start with the students because they're most important.
And
In terms of the children, just encourage. So we would never force a child to feel uncomfortable in a situation because that's not kind, and it's not actually helpful in any way. So it's about sitting alongside the child and finding out, getting her to articulate what it is that she is worried about, like what are the barriers, and helping her, trying to find ways for herself to overcome them so that she can engage in a way that she feels ready to do. So as I say, that giving them the support and the gentle nudge so that they are comfortably uncomfortable is what we're aiming for.
we love that. That's going to be my tattoo, comfortably uncomfortable.
I think I can combine both of those answers by just saying, and kind of what Kate said as well, is just have a go. Lean into friends. Friends are a big one. I think with girls who are feeling a little bit anxious about getting involved in a sport, it's more the anticipation of playing the sport as opposed to the sport itself. And when they've got involved and they've had a go and they've realised that, you know, some people see sport and they think of what they see on television. Yet here at Pymble, we're fortunate enough to offer a wide range of being involved in sport. Sport could be have a go with kindergarten on a Saturday morning, which all they're really doing is throwing and catching and learning the basic skills. And they're with their friends and they're having fun and they're playing fun games. So I think it's just lean into that friendship base, find out what their friends are doing and have a go. And as you said, Kate, they're not locked into anything. So if they don't like it, then that's okay too. They can try something else that they do like.
I think a key message for parents is like what Matt said, that you are their heroes, their rock stars. So if you are modelling fun, if you are modelling taking some risks, trying new things, challenging yourself, they will feel that that's okay to do too.
Well, Kate, Matt and Kate, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise. The girls are so lucky to have you championing, that's a hard word to say on a podcast, but championing the risky play and the sport here at Pymble. If you're listening and have feedback or ideas for future topics, we'd love to hear from you. And we hope this episode's given you a little insight into the value of risky play and sport here at Pymble.